All right, what's up, Gamecock Nation? Welcome to my podcast, Cocky Talk, with myself, Marlin Anderson. This episode is titled Cream of the Crop 2, and I will also talk about our Gamecocks as well some. But we're going to get this started talking about our Gamecocks. You know, I'm not going to have too much of an analysis for the game against Chattanooga this week because we should just simply win. No analysis needed. So Gamecock Nation, you know, we lost because we couldn't get one stop. Defense got gassed. We don't have enough on the defensive side of the ball right now regarding talent-wise and depth-wise, and we have too many youngsters out there. So it is what it is. You know, key Coach Muschamp words, it is what it is. And we got a lot of injuries. But therefore, in the fourth quarter, we choked. We choked. Even in the midst of all that, because you got to find a way to get one stop. God. But like I said, not enough depth. When you're tired, you can't make plays. Them boys was tired, man. But we choked it up in the fourth quarter. Offense didn't make a play either. Been making plays all game. You got to find a way to make a play. Didn't do it. So, but now our focus is on Chattanooga. You know what I mean? So let's forget about it. And this is a big game. We should take this game very seriously, like any other game, and get this win number 6 to be bowl eligible. Is very, very important for our progression of our program to be bowl eligible, which we should. We got Akron and we got Chattanooga for very winnable games in between Clemson, which I don't believe we will win. Wouldn't be surprised to see a fight, put up a fight, but I just don't. I mean, looking at these numbers, I got to look at everything the same as I do other teams. I look at my own team, it does look like we should be winning that game and probably won't be winning that game. But anyway, enough about that. You know, but I keep the hope, though. I keep the hope. You know what I mean? A miracle might happen in the valley. You never know. But anyway, so we should punch the Mocs in the mouth from Chattown and call it a night. You know, from start to finish, UT Chattanooga shouldn't have any hope to win the game. We shouldn't give them any hope. Florida is over. We lost. Get over it. It's done. Let's get this win Saturday. Let's get the win number 6. We should win about 42-17. Is what I think the score is going to be around. Offense shouldn't have any issue putting up points against the Mocs. We should just be able to run the ball on their ass and pound them. And that's what we should do. But again, you know what I mean, this game should be taken seriously, and I believe that the players know that. I mean, I know the coaches are taking it seriously. They take every game seriously, but you know, I believe the players are also going to be on the same page and be upset about last week and get the win number 6. All right. Now I'm going to get to talking about my next segment, which is Cream of the Crop Part 2, which means I just look at the games between the top 5 teams, and then I go into my analysis by the numbers that I pull and who I think is going to come out on top within these games, looking at the top 5 teams ranked in the college football playoff rankings. So I was right last week with all my picks. I mean, I'm not going to brag about that because looking at the games, anybody with some college football knowledge or football knowledge who understands the game, I didn't see an upset. Had a friend, though, who thought, Florida State's going to win. Or Florida State could win. They didn't. They sucked like I thought they would, because numbers never lie. All right. So I was right last week with all my picks for the top 5 teams in the country. Surprise. Bama won by 24 against Mississippi State. Clemson won by 20 against BC, Boston College. And Notre Dame by 29 over Florida State University. And Michigan won by 35 against Rutgers, and Georgia by 17 against the Auburn Tigers in between the hedges. So I knew BC's passing offense wasn't going to be able to get vertical on Clemson. That's why they're ranked 80th in passing offense. is not, you're ranked 80th. You're not very good getting the ball vertically downfield. And 66th in total offense. And Clemson is 9th in pass defense and 2nd in total defense. So, okay. That's not going to bode well, man. You need to have a team that can move the ball. So numbers never lie. Only turnovers were going to help the Eagles, and this goes along with every other matchup this past weekend. FSU, the Seminoles, they suck, so they weren't going to go possession to possession with the Irish unless they got lucky, but there was no luck. Only, the Irish kept all their luck to themselves. And I knew State's defense, Mississippi State meaning, could keep the game against Bama close, but a 24-point victory was what I predicted. I think I said the game was going to be around 38-14, but Bama won 24-0. They kept the Bulldogs off the board. Not surprising. But, it does make sense that Mississippi State would hold them to 24 points because Mississippi State's defense is nationally ranked good in a lot of areas. And numbers never lie, y'all. They never lie. Looking at a good sample size, 10 games is a good sample size. So I knew that, they kept Bama less than half, to half of what they're scoring per game. Bama's one of the top scoring offenses in the game, so they kept them to half of their average, keeping them at 24 points. And Rutgers got smashed as on cue. And Auburn is a decent team, but Georgia is a really, really good team that can seriously compete with Alabama and Clemson or Michigan. So, Georgia has a big physical offensive line. They recruited very good over the past 2 years, having the top recruiting classes, the number one recruiting classes. It wasn't Bama. It wasn't Clemson. It wasn't Michigan. It was Georgia who had the best class of athletes coming in 2 years back to back. So, that's going to help your football team definitely be one of the best teams in the country by getting the best athletes on your squad and developing them. All right. So where are we at right now? Okay. Now, Clemson is definitely, in my opinion, has one of the best shots at beating Bama because their numbers prove that they can. But they also could be exposed. Michigan can also be exposed. I think Bama has the best collection. Well, Clemson has a good offense by numbers too. But the thing about it is, how good are the offense that they're playing against? How good are the defenses that they're playing against? Are they really playing against defenses that are physical, that have NFL guys? Are the defenses they playing with, are they efficient on defense? Do they collectively against their other opponents, does it give up a lot of yards or a lot of points? I looked this up. So I looked at one of their best games that they played, one of the closest games that they played against Syracuse. And Syracuse's defense is not good. And I get to talking about them later because they got a big matchup against Notre Dame. But Syracuse's defense is not good. Syracuse they get opportunities because they get turnovers. They force turnovers. And their offense doesn't turn the ball over a lot. But their defense gives up a lot of yards. They don't have a good rushing defense, really. They're mediocre. Their pass defense is pretty bad. And their total defense is not very good either. So, and, they don't give up a ton of points, but not really a good defensive team. So it really does question when you actually get into a game if Clemson plays like a Michigan but Clemson could expose Michigan's offense as well. But if Michigan offense can find a way to be able to score some points, I think Michigan has a really good shot in the college football playoff. And that's really what I believe, because I think Michigan's defense, they're definitely top in a lot of categories defensively, and they're legit. And they got a lot of NFL guys at every level of their defense. So I really think that's a team that can really also compete with Bama and Clemson if they can get their offense going and they can get vertical. If they can unleash Shea Patterson, who is very talented, Michigan can do some damage. So I think anybody can get beat in the college football playoff if the right teams are in. I don't know how good Notre Dame's going to be. If Notre Dame can find a way to beat up on Syracuse, then I will give them the benefit of the doubt of being able to possibly compete. You know, if they can beat up on Syracuse. I ain't talking about a close game. I'm talking about them beat them up. And then I will definitely respect Notre Dame more. But right now, I think it's kind of Alabama, Clemson, and Michigan, who is favorites to win the title. So let's get back on point. So, looking at this week, Bama plays the Citadel, Duke is at Clemson, Michigan hosts Indiana, which is more than likely, going to be a win for the Wolverines unless they have a debacle. Georgia's going to pound UMass and Athens, but at least we got one game that should be a dandy. And that's number 12 Syracuse taking on number 3 Notre Dame in Yankee Stadium. And the Orangemen is a physical team. Even though I talked about the defensive deficiencies, but they are a physical team, and they do have a big athletic dual threat quarterback in Eric Dungy, and they have a good solid coach in Dino Babers. And their offense can score some points, and they can move the ball. So Syracuse's offense is a strong point. So Syracuse is, 14th in total offense. They put up about 482 yards per game. Passing offense, 36. So they're pretty solid there, 266 yards per game. And running the ball, they rush for about 206. They rush for 216 yards a game. So offensively, they're pretty good in all of their categories. And most importantly, they score. They can score. They do have some games in there where they were able to score a lot of points against some teams at the beginning of the season who they should beat up on, but they can score. 44 points per game. They're doing something right to keep that average. So Syracuse can and potentially give Notre Dame problems if them boys ain't ready to play on the defensive side of the ball. And even if they are ready, they still might put up some points. Because, Syracuse is not that good defensively in a lot of areas, as I said, but they can create pressure. They're 10th in the nation at getting sacks, and they're also very good at not giving the ball away and taking it away. They're tied 4th in the nation in winning the turnover margin. They're ranked 6th in passes intercepted. They get a lot of passes. Their defense of secondary, or defense as a whole, as a unit, they intercept a lot of passes. They force a lot of turnovers, so that offsets their defensive deficiencies. They could force Notre Dame into some turnovers because they've been doing that well all season. So it's not going to be surprising if you watch that game and you see Syracuse force some turnovers against the Irish. Along with their offense that's capable of scoring points and putting together some sustained drives. Upset alert is real for Notre Dame. If I was Notre Dame, I would run the football and attempt to shorten the game, keep Syracuse's offense on the sideline because they got some athletes and they can make plays, and that's what happens when you got good players. They're going to make plays. So, and then Syracuse's defense is not that good, so run the football on them. If I was Notre Dame, and they know that, but. Yeah, they got to establish a running game is the key. So Notre Dame, yeah, they're the home team, but they're not really the home team because I see now that this game is going to be played in the Bronx and Yankee Stadium in New York, and then for those who don't know, Syracuse is in New York State, so. It's basically kind of more of a home game for them. I don't know how many Notre Dame fans are going to be there. I know they're going to travel more than likely, but there's going to be some Q's fans there. So If Syracuse is going to be ready to play, and Notre Dame, this could be a statement game for them. So we're going to see what they're about, and if they take care of business against the Orangemen, touche. So I also think Duke can keep it closer than expected against Clemson, because they do have a legit quarterback. They have a legit quarterback who's probably going to play in the NFL. And I think their coach, David Cutcliffe, is a really good coach, and he can scheme up some offense and be able to possibly, give Duke some good opportunities through scheme, because you got to beat a team like Clemson, or be able to put up some points against Clemson. I don't think Duke is going to win the game, but I think that they can keep the game closer. But a good coach is able to definitely propel the team, to play at a higher level because of the scheme that they can do. They can create openings for the offense because of pure scheme. So if Duke can force some turnovers and Clemson is sleepwalking, which they could be, and they could keep it competitive. And if they play sound and not give Clemson extra opportunities with turnovers, or just not being able to move the ball at all, and they just could constantly keep their defense on the field, which Duke's defense is statistically not that good. But their offense is okay. But Duke has some good red zone defense, so that better come into play if they want to be able to keep that game close against the Tigers in Death Valley. But however, I believe Clemson was just going to run the ball against Duke. Like I said, Duke's defense is ranked 108th in rushing. I remember what they did to Syracuse. As I already told you how Syracuse run defense is, Clemson just pounded the ball on them all game. And I believe they're going to do the same thing against Duke. So that's what I believe. I don't think it's going to be any potential upset can be Syracuse can upset Notre Dame, and that could be very, very legit on happening. But that's the only upset that I see this week. But I'm done. I'm out. I'm about to make a sandwich. This is Cocky Talk with Marlin Anderson, and thanks for tuning in. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button that you see in the middle, right there, middle of the screen, for more podcasts like this one. And peace out, y'all. Y'all take it easy.